The biggest AI companies, the way they promote their product is by getting on stage. When I say stage, it's podcasts, videos, YouTube, speaking one-to-many. Speaking is the most important skill, the most in-demand skill, the highest paid skill, and frankly, one of the only few unfair advantage left in business today when AI does everything else for us. When everybody has an AI avatar making their videos, and you got the balls to step up and go there in person, that's how you build trust at scale.
Hello, Liberty Spenders. Today on the show, we're joined by Sly. He's a real modern Renaissance man. His journey is incredible, from battling a stutter for 27 years to becoming an award-winning musician, a marketing consultant, and the founder of the Transformational Speaking Academy. Sly has helped people of all ages find their voice, beat stage fright, and shine whenever they're on stage, on camera, and meetings. We're going to dig into his story, the systems he's created, and get his advice on how to build confidence and AI-proof your career in today's rapidly changing world. I am pumped to have you, Sly, on the show.
Thanks for having me, Kurt. This is nice. Hi, Kristen.
Yes. Yes. Well, for all of our listeners today, we are missing the best part of the show, which is Kristen. But we will survive regardless, because we have such an interesting guest here. And I think somebody who works with speakers, I have heard it said that public speaking is often, for many people, something they fear more than death itself. And you help people overcome stage fright. You help people do the job they need to get done by giving speeches. What's the secret? How do you get results for people?
Well, you said it well. Most people would prefer to be in the casket than give the eulogy. Classic Seinfeld joke, yeah.
Yes.
The first thing about stage fright is you got to realize where. Let's say if you go to the doctor, Kurt, right? Let's say you got knee pain. He's going to ask, where is the pain? Can you point to it? How long has it been there? What caused it? Maybe it's a foot misalignment. Maybe it's a hip thing. So the person says there's knee pain. So you got to first put your finger on the damn thing. Okay, so when you talk about stage fright, where is the fright? Is it on stage? So think of a business owner. Flicks the camera on, mind flips out. Dude, you know what you're talking about. I'm speaking to business owners here. I'm speaking to a guy who, HVAC company, an expert. Somebody wrote a book on this subject. Most business owners and experts and coaches and speakers and trainers and consultants know more about their subject and have forgotten more about their subject than most people will ever know. Camera flips on, mind flips out. They just go like, okay. Or I've seen people, powerful, gravitas, stance, presence, aura, not messing around. You know what I mean, right?
Yes.
And then they walk on stage and they just power leak. They just deflate on their way to the stage. They just deflate. All this time I'm thinking, because I get it, because I chronically stuttered for 27 years. So I get the whole issue of, oh my God, what are they going to say? And all freaking out, all that.
Yes.
So before you can help someone with the stage fright and the freaking out, you got to get clear on where it is. There's no problem with the camera. That's not where the problem is. There's no problem with the stage. So if somebody's standing on stage, well, that's a wooden structure. There's no fear there.
Yeah.
There's an audience. Oh, a lot of people say, oh, Kurt, I'm cool. But when even in the meeting, when all eyes, it's the moment when all eyes turn to me, I go, no, let's just lose it. They lose all sense of composure. And they revert back to a traumatic experience they often had in school. Mm-hmm. So first thing, we got to locate, where is the fright? And if somebody is not clear that it's in their mind, it's not on the stage, it's not in the camera, it's not in the audience, it's not in the way they look at you. It's in the mind and the way you process things and how things are coded within your perceptual fields, your habit fields, your sense of self. Think about this, Kurt. A lot of people don't think about that. We talk about senses, okay? Sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch, sense of hearing. But it's called the sense of self. It's an actual sense. This is all mind stuff. So if one tries to take care of stage fright or camera fright or meeting madness, whatever the name is for that, with anything but internal tools strictly, they're shooting themselves in the foot. Because they're trying to use a lever on the wrong fulcrum. So all these tricks you see of people say, the nerves and the anxiety is the same as excitement. And you just have to reframe the little thing, okay? All these tricks, or you go on LinkedIn and they say power pose. Put your hand like this, and then power pose, or all these tricks, or picture them naked. All the tricks that are anything but internal mind stuff is like trying to heal knee pain by rubbing a shoulder. You're applying the pressure at the wrong place. So you said, I've worked with people from all ages. It's not true. I only work from 6 years old to 81 years old. So I'm not done prior to 6, not above 81. I don't talk about the 6-year-old. In my marketing, I say 18 to 81 because it sounds good and it's like an inversion. We've had people, the fastest transformation I've seen is 6 seconds. Is a guy named Samuel. That was the time, because before teaching business owners how to rock the stage, I used to teach musicians how to not suck on stage. So stage presence is stage presence is stage presence. So this guy, 18 years old, at the time I was a guitar teacher. And in the music school, I had a process called Vaincre la peur de jouer en public, which is French for how to rock people's faces off and stop shaking your knees when you get on stage and look down. You know, how to rock people's faces off in French. By the way, my name is French. It's Sylvain Haché, but nobody can say that. That's why I go by Sly. And there's a chiropractor in the States. Now, I think it's Bradley Nelson or Bradley Cooper, Dr. Bradley something. He has a process called the emotion code, which is this guy discovered by happenstance. As a chiropractor, people would come with back pain, and one day, he somehow figured out that he rubbed, by accident, a magnet on someone's spine, and their back pain went away. It was like, exactly, Kurt said it right. Exactly what Kurt said. So this guy's like, he started looking into that. Then he developed this full-on framework where he calls it blocked emotions, and he uses magnet therapy to help people release emotions. So I made a simplified version of that, and I took all the shyest people in the music school. So you had people, for example, walking on stage for the yearly show, kids, and you had some naturals, as they call them, rock stars. And then you had the shy kids looking down like this, not playing, right? So that's the equivalent of an author being great at what he knows, getting on stage with power leaks. Can't look people in the eye. You look shifty. And people don't want to buy from you because they think, I don't know what's wrong with this guy, but there's something's off. Because you're not connecting with the audience. So this guy, what we do is we developed a process. This guy, for his whole life at 18 years old, could not even play Happy Birthday to his mom or something. We did a process in 6 seconds. Bam! This thing released with the magnet therapy for this guy. I have last time I counted, 152 ways of helping people with that. That's one of them. 6 seconds. The guy went like this. Oh my God. The fear I imagine, the catastrophic scenarios I imagine are gone. This guy went from not being able to speak to even his friends or something to bringing his guitar every week in college and on purpose making shows in the cafeteria and waiting himself to time where there would be the most people there, crank his amp and rock people's faces off the intercom system.
Wow.
In the mind. And when I say mind, I don't mean the brain. I mean the internal experience of one's sense of self, how you think, how you frame things, how you think to yourself. It's basically the story you tell yourself about yourself, your products and services. So if we don't address stage fright from that perspective first, anything else we do on the secondary and third levels, that's why it always comes back.
If you're listening to this show, it's probably because you understand something most people don't. Marketing to Liberty spenders isn't just about ads or tactics, it's about trust. And in the real world, trust moves through relationships. And that's why private introductions and deal flow are such a core part of what we do.
So FastPass is a private introduction and deal flow network for Christian and conservative leaders who already have influence and want to scale fast. It's not open networking, it's intentional introductions between people who already share alignment. We've seen one client land a $25,000 opportunity from a single introduction. Another told us that FastPass has become his largest source of referrals, not because of volume, but because of fit. And yet another closed her equity round at a key moment just due to the right introduction.
When you book a one-to-one consult with us, we're not handing you a list or making big promises. Instead, we're having a real conversation about what you're building, who you want to meet, and whether FastPass makes sense for this season for you. So no pressure, no hustle, and no awkward pitch from us.
Yeah. If you're ready to grow through relationships instead of forcing everything on your own, head to libertyspenders.com/FastPass and book a one-to-one consult with us.
In worst case, you leave with clarity. Best case, the right introductions change the trajectory of what you're building.
Okay, back to the episode.
Now, I imagine there's and this will be my own term, more of like conditional stage fright for some people. So I'm thinking of myself here. I'm not terribly, some people get scared to get in front of groups. I'm not really scared to get in front of groups. And I'm very comfortable with that. But the moment I need to do what feels like a sale in a group setting, I could do something that feels very casual, right? If you enjoyed what you learned from me today, I do have something to offer. If you reach out to me if you'd like to learn more, that feels very good. But then the moment I have to start, we talked about this before we got on, the moment you got to pull out the PowerPoint and say, well, look, here's our price. Here's the stack of value, and here's the extra special bonus for people who sign up today. That kind of stuff makes me very uncomfortable. So how do you deal with what I would call conditional? I'm not afraid to speak to a crowd. That doesn't intimidate me, but I don't like selling. Is that something you run into commonly? Yes.
Every day. Every week on Wednesdays, pretty much.
Yes.
So there's two things in there. There's the switch, the dreaded switch. And let's go through a concept called the pitching spectrum and sell like a star framework.
Sure.
And let's throw in there respect-based selling.
Yeah.
Truth-based selling, as I call it as well. So the switch is when people go, okay, now I'm teaching, now I'm giving from the heart, and I'm sharing, and I'm teaching, and now switch, body language change, get stiff, no blood in the face, and now it's a memorization act of trying to say the lines my sales coach told me to manipulate them into NLP language that says, by now, you should realize that the most important thing is to try to put embedded commands in there. So there's a switch of moving from giving naturally and flowing to the sales part, the sales technique. I'm not saying that's what you do, but we call it the switch.
Yeah.
So anybody here is a DJ or have ever played with audio files, we need a crossfade.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a crossfade is?
I do not.
Okay, so if you're in a dance club I can imagine Kurt dancing wherever we get Kristen.
Yes.
Maybe Kristen dances a bit better. I don't know.
She dances a lot better.
There you go. Okay. Not judging here, but I know. I make people dance. I don't dance. So anyway. So you got one song playing. Stop the song. Dead silence. Start the other song. Even Kristen would be like, "Hey, wait a minute. That kills the vibe. I don't like that." So what the DJ does is, the DJ says, well, that's, and the other one's, it's a bit faster. So let me extend this particular song and put this one here before, so that the ending of the first one is after the beginning of the second one, and the second one starts before the first one ends, and let me make a fade out on one and a fade in on the other as the BPM slowly rises, and then you kind of mix them up. So Kristen's it's like a boiling frog principle. She doesn't notice, it just gets a tiny bit faster. Okay?
Yes.
Smooth. So the way you erase that dreaded shift is a crossfade. So you're never purely teaching and you're never purely selling. It's one word, it's called teach selling. It's one word.
Yes.
So that's how you take care of that dreaded shift. Now, what you teach is one thing to begin with. So there's self-serving transformations. So the purely self-serving transformations is thinking, okay, well, what do they need to believe in order to buy this? Okay, they need to believe whatever, sky is blue. Okay, what did they believe now? It's gray. So let me make all my teaching material just to get them to believe.
Yeah.
The one thing they need, and let me lie, cheat, beg, steal, borrow, twist the facts, twist the truth. No matter what, you got to get done to even make the sale with some sort of a self-justification of, if I don't do it, others will. And people can't change anyway, so let's just screw them, take their money, and go. That's not the people I work with.
Right.
The people I work with tend to have somewhat of a spiritual side, or like a sense that we're not just meat suit with opinions.
Right.
Some sort of a spiritual thing, or like, we're like, we have bodies, we are not body. This type of stuff,
Right.
And what you do here has consequences after this. So you don't want to do something that screws your afterlife just to make a buck right here, right now. So we call it truth-based selling. So this gives what I call honest entrepreneurs an unfair advantage that's unfakeable, which is at one point or another, when you do the crossfade right, you earn the permission to sell. And even when we crossfade it clean, okay, you still need a moment in time where you can take the gloves off and go for it with a straight face without holding back. Because if you're holding your punches, you can't have enough torque needed to get ethical pressure. So we get ethical pressure in multitudes of ways. One way is, we call it a charismatic call to action. You need to elevate the stakes of the moment bigger than you, bigger than the audience, bigger than the moment, and tie your call to action to what's going on in their mind outside of whatever they are. So if you have like a weight loss offer, unless somebody has a photo shoot coming up in a bikini, they're not buying for the pounds that they lose. They're buying for the result of what's going on. Okay?
Right.
So for example, at a certain age, the only reason somebody exercises is to play with their grandkids.
Yeah.
So that has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with them. It's the joy and maybe setting an example and playing with their grandkids. So tying to these big ideas. Okay? So you elevate this to not you. You never just teach and just sell, so you crossfade it. And then respect-based selling. I don't know if this is right for you, but we have something here, and plus we have, the whole system is designed in order to lead up to that, so I'll just skip the first part. But you say something along the lines of, I believe you are intelligent. And you sometimes have intuition and you just know things. Now, I would ask, I don't want to insult your intelligence. If you know this is not for you, what we have here, please do not buy, do not click, do not vote, do not download, do not insert the action.
Right.
Okay, for your own good, no matter how good I make it sound.
Right.
No matter what I say. On the other hand, if you know that this is for you, just go ahead and buy it and do the action, no matter what I say, for your own good. To have this framing with a straight face, there needs to be, we could call it a quality of the heart. We could call it just what I call just good old common sense and honesty and doing good by your customers and actually intending for them to have great results. But there's a straight face that comes with it that you can pull off that thing. Now, if the framing is off from the beginning of your set, you open your mouth. If the framing is not done well, you can never sell or close back at the end. It's just, you cannot do it. There's no way to pull it off because the power is in the context. What you say is not the be-all, end-all. Let me just give you a quick example. Let's take Warren Buffett. Okay, doesn't like Bitcoin. Do you know what his partner said about Bitcoin?
I do not.
Charlie Munger said,
Yes.
Bitcoin's rat poison. So now the media, being the media, try to go to Warren Buffett and say, what do you have to say about the comments of what do you have to say about what your partner said, about Bitcoin? He said, what did he say? He said it's rat poison. Warren Buffett thinks a while and says, yeah, it's probably rat poison squared. So, all right. So if Warren Buffett says, okay, I sold everything I have to buy Bitcoin, and you probably should too. Okay. So that's what is being said. Contrast that with your brother-in-law, Kristen's brother. All right, Kristen, I'm okay, just to make an example here. I don't know, okay? Sorry. So, or just somebody off the street. I sold everything I got to buy Bitcoin, and you probably should too. It's the same message.
Right.
But who is saying what is more important than what is being said? Even more than this, who you're saying it to is even more important than what's being said and how it's being said. So it doesn't matter. You can have the best pitch in the world, the best offer in the world. If you're selling muscle-building protein synthesis secrets to a crowd of vegan monks, it doesn't matter what you say.
Right.
All right. So who you're speaking to is more important than what you say. Who you are to who you're speaking to is more important than what you say. How you say what you say is more important than what you say. The whole framing of the event, how they got there, why they got there, what did they want to get out of it, and your relationship to the host and what was said about you before you spoke is more important than what you say. So when all these ducks line up, that's how we have six-figure days with people. The offer lines up with who you are, who you think you are, the persona, and you can sell with a straight face without lying, cheating, twisting facts, or just being honest, because it oozes out of you when it's done naturally.
I love this. Every good interview results in good notes. I'm taking notes quickly here. So I think it's interesting when you said you've worked with people of all ages, and you say 18 to 81.
Yeah.
Is there a particular transformation story? You did mention one with the 6 seconds and the magnet. Someone you've worked with that really stands out?
So Dr. Margarita is quite something. 62 years old, a doctor from the West Side, California, IA, San Diego, all that side. And then she gets booked to speak at a mental health conference in New York City. And then she comes into our program. She's never been on stage. She can't get herself to do it. It's like she knows her stuff. A doctor, for God's
Yes.
sake. All right. And she has this product, and then she cannot sell from the stage at that event because, you know, we do the spectrum from no pitch
Right.
to full pitch, right? So she cannot pitch, she cannot sell, not allowed to sell. Comes into the program, and we find something where at 7 years old, she's 62, at 7 years old, something happened in her, and we do the release technique, we release that
Right.
in her. And she goes from not being able to speak on stage to going her first time in New York City, gets a standing ovation, first time on stage.
Wow.
But then here's the kicker. Not allowed to sell. She does her thing, no pitch, just the context. People are screaming to please, can we buy? Is there a way we can throw money at you? So the organizer had to create a separate room for her to take orders, pre-orders of her invention, literally.
Wow.
The power comes from the context. The power is already in the audience's mind. They got drives, emotions, impulses, subconscious impressions, things going on already in there. And when you map your messages to the inherent forces in the audience's mind, you're like, you know, you just ignited a fire. And then you channel those drives properly. Anyway, she gets her she gets there. She comes to the coaching call the next week. I had a standing ovation. This was great, yada, yada. Next week, she's back in the West Side. And then her second time on stage at 62 years old, she's got a 15-minute slot in a place where investors are there. She does her 15-minute thing. Somebody comes from the audience, invests in her company, and funds the whole company.
Wow.
But now, what she said, I forget her testimonial here by heart, but it's on a website. She called it the gunny sack. I didn't even know what the gunny sack was because, you know, English is my second language. So some expressions, I had to look it up. It's like a deep little bag, right?
Yes.
She said there was something in the bottom of the gunny sack that nobody could get out, even the therapy she had done. And in one of the calls with her, we have hypnotic processes. Well, people call it hypnotic processes. I actually dehypnotize people.
Yes.
It sounds like hypnosis, but I dehypnotize people. I work with hypnotists. I dehypnotize them. And she just let that stuff go. It's like a weight comes off of your shoulders. And stage fright is normal, but it's not natural. Let's say that together, people. Stage fright is normal, but it's not
natural.
Have you ever seen, I don't know where you live, Kurt. I think you're in the West Coast, right?
Midwest.
Midwest. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I don't know about the Midwest squirrels. Have you ever seen a squirrel being afraid of being a squirrel in front of other squirrels?
No, not at all.
Not in Canada. I mean, okay.
Right.
So in the natural world, being afraid of being who you are, what you are in front of other like yous, it's not a thing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So it's normal in the sense that, as you said in the beginning, most people would be rather be in the casket than give the eulogy. So the norm, as in if you add up the numbers, that's the norm, as in the average. It's normal. It's expected, but it's not natural. So when we remove what makes someone self-conscious, afraid, doubt themselves, look down, self-sabotage opportunity because they think to themselves, I'm not a great speaker. And this is, I get it, people. This is from a 27-year chronic stutterer. So I get the mind games, okay? When you remove that, it's not like you have to add on or bolt on confidence. It just comes back to its natural buoyancy, that's the natural state. The natural state is you're full on, you're fully present, your camera is that way, you're present to the audience. So when you're present to the audience, guess what they say? Wow, she has amazing presence. All right? So if somebody is self-conscious, your camera is that way. Oh my God, is my fly open? Is Bob impressed? Are they going to like me?
Right.
Am I doing a good job? That's the camera of that way. So now the audience, when they look at her, they say, well, I don't know, maybe she's lying. Maybe he's not, I don't know what's wrong with him. And then the audience just feels bad. So this hurts your conversions and hurts your pitch. So the way we do it, we call it debunking. Kurt, I don't know how old you are, but I'm sure you can remember or think back to a time, the golden years, when cars used to have metal fenders.
Yes. Yes.
Remember okay.
Yes.
So when they had a fender bender, they would bring it to the shop, undent it from the inside, little paint job, and off you go.
Yeah.
Right? You would just debunk it. In French, we call it débosselage. There's no word in English. It's just like a body job, but there's a word for that in French. It's the undenting of it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, 7 years old, 3 years old, 2 years old, 11 years old, something happens, and you called it conditional. So something happens in a way where it goes, the sense of self gets dented. Ugh. Hit to the chest. I suck. I'm not good at this. And then people grow up with this crooked sense of self as it relates to that. What we do is we undent. And when we undent that, we don't need to add anything. There's no just add water. It's just stop being not natural, and it kicks back in, Kurt, boom, like this, with interest of the last 30 years that has not been used. So you get all that power back. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It sounds beautiful. And I think such a powerful process. There's probably a journey you took to learn this, or when did you first discover this and start working with people on this sort of stage fright issue, or helping them become better speakers and musicians?
There was an incident in church at 7 years old that gave me a direction, an unconscious direction, like a North Star in life. That's not a pivotal moment. There's a pivotal moment of where this thing started. There's a spiritual awakening in 2005 that prompted me to have all those changes and get all that. There's a meeting my mentor about this that taught me all the techniques. Well, that same mentor, the third time that mentor had called me an idiot. That is probably, yeah. Yeah, the first time he called me an idiot, it was like, I was about to leave the world and become a monk, literally. So I was writing all those, we had a company, 2005 to 2007-ish. Writing all the marketing materials for all the authors, coaches, gurus, consultants, water filter people, help the world, the chakra people, help the world people, let's make the world a better place, the motivational guys. So they would come to me. We had a tech guy, and I was the marketing guy. So I would write all their messaging and their copy. Turns out they all sound the same, so I had to pull out what's unique and put it in copy to send it out. So that's what I was doing. And at the time, I just had a spiritual awakening. I was like meditating all the time. I was about to leave the world and become a monk, literally to the mountains, drop the world. This guy told me, "What's wrong with you, idiot? You're not a monk. You're a rock star." I had forgotten about that. I started playing music at 3 years old. So instead of leaving the world to become a monk, I left and toured internationally for like 2 years, when playing a bunch of places. Came back, made an album, had songs on the radio, toured the province a few times here. The province is like a state, like
yes.
So it's flew the province like 7 times. So now I had all this international touring experience. I was not a speaker trainer. I was still, part-time stutterer. But I had this stage presence thing, because people would see like, okay, well, there's Sly on stage. It's different than some other people. So I started teaching musicians how to not suck on stage. So I built all these techniques to get over stage fright and stage dynamics and banter and all that stuff for the stage use. And then this mentor again, "What's wrong with you, idiot? Don't teach that to musicians. Teach that to business owners." Yeah, that was a great idea. All right.
Yes.
So I took the messaging system from the marketing I was doing for all the coaches and authors and experts and all these guys, and I combined the messaging system, the algorithm, with the stage presence principles, and that's how I formed the speaker training thing. So I was doing the speaker training thing, and we had, a few six-figure days in, and people were getting great results. And this mentor again, a few years later, as he saw me, and Kurt, I got to tell you this: I'm healthy. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I pray all the time. Meditation, yoga. I'm clean. Okay.
Yes.
And twice in the I don't smoke. Twice in the afternoon, I had a pinch in my heart, like a chest pinch, like a heart pain from overworking. Too much work, like too much. Same mentor who saw the results. He said, "What's wrong with you, idiot? Remove yourself out of one-on-one coaching, groupify your processes, and create a low barrier to entry product, and then 10x the price of your one-on-one coaching." Done. Created that. And just systematized the whole thing together. This all came about as me being called an idiot 3 times by a mentor.
Well, sometimes we need mentors to remind us of and tell us what we need to hear, not what we want to hear.
You can't read the label when you're inside the jar.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you make me at least a little curious to go down this rabbit hole. What kind of music did you play? Or maybe it was pretty eclectic. What was your genre?
Man. I started playing drums at 3 years old. Then I played guitar, started guitar around 18, started singing around in my 30s. So I can play, I can fake, pull off almost any genre except jazz and metal. I don't think fast enough to play jazz. Anybody listening here, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't play fast enough to play metal. Anything in the middle, kind of. But I'm specializing right now in the country. Country guitar is a thing of beauty. Thank God for country guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's absolutely fascinating. I wanted to talk a little bit about something that's on so many people's minds too, and it's something you talk about a lot, which is the idea of AI proofing your career and your business. I'll set this up a little bit. I've had AI enthusiasts saying for years now, the moment's around the corner when AI is going to be so good that it'll start replacing people. And, some people have been saying this for years, really. It felt a little hyperbolic 2 years ago. But I'll tell you, in the last few months, in my own personal use of AI, I've noticed a substantial difference in what AI can do, the quality of what it generates. And as a business owner, I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, this absolutely is a danger to people's jobs right now. And so I think it's an important topic. And I think it's a hard thing to think about. How do I AI proof my career? I can go be a mechanic somewhere, right? Because maybe the robots will replace us with the mechanics, but AI won't replace us. How do you look at AI proofing your career for somebody who's seeing what I'm seeing?
Good on you for spotting it in advance, because once it passes, it's too late.
Yeah.
And it's coming fast. It's not even funny. You need an unfair advantage in the age of AI because speed is 10x, 100x, 1000x. So when you look at this, you look at the landscape. Okay, AI can do everything. It can write better than almost anybody. Right, where they're working on AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. They're working on ASI, artificial super intelligence. The definitions are loose, but AGI is it's pretty much when AI can do what most people can do better at anything. So, bit of math, bit of physics, bit of French, bit of English, a bit of coding, a bit of music. It can do better than most people. And then, which is, in my opinion, that's already done. I mean, good Lord, it's crazy. Okay. Then ASI is where it can, and then there are different definitions, but ASI is when take the best coder in the world, the best mathematician in the world, the best at everything combined together when it's better than all that. Nonstop at speed. So to frame the thought properly, do you know Dan Kennedy, mean old Dan Kennedy?
I know who he is. I don't know him personally.
Oh, yeah. You got to love Dan Kennedy, okay? So Dan Kennedy, back in the beginning of the internet, back in the old days, okay? There was this new thing called the internet. And then Dan Kennedy was invited at a seminar to teach people how to make money from the internet without speaking to people. Because this thing will automate your business. You won't speak to nobody. It's just going to be like magical thing that just prints out money from your printer. Amazing. Now, Dan Kennedy's on stage, being Dan Kennedy. He says, all right, guys. You guys notice that I'm on stage, right? Yes. Okay. You guys notice that you're in a room. Yes. Okay. You see this. Okay. You guys are aware that I'm on stage in a room speaking to you about how to make money from the internet without speaking to no one. You guys get this? Yes. Okay. How did you get here? Did this guy, he points to the host, or did this guy sell you on this here? Yes. Did you sell that to you from a stage somewhere? Yeah. Okay. So you mean to tell me you saw somebody speak on a stage or on camera who sold you something to come here in a room to hear me on stage talking to you about how to make money without speaking to no one. And then you just, say it slow. And so they finally get it. So when the AI comes, now AI can write everything for you. It can do videos for you. It can do avatar for you. You can make a double of yourself in any color, any skin tone, any accent, any language. It can broadcast what you say in the metaverse with any skin and any background. It can take the transcript, the copy, repurpose that, make the videos, all that. It can make the research. It can buy the camera for you. But there's one thing it will never be able to do. And that's to put your pants on and deliver the message with a straight face. The original source, it cannot. There's a message screaming to come out of your chest. Mm-hmm. Something you know is good for you, the world, the economy, a legacy. There's a message. I meet people sometimes 15 years. They're called to play they're called to scare, and they're called to do something. They pick up the phone and hang up real quick. They're a bit scared. So there's a message screaming to come out of your chest. AI will never have the gut, what it takes at the gut level, to handle that message with a straight face. So the getting on stage and the getting on camera is the moat. It's the only unfair advantage left in business today. When everybody has an AI avatar making their videos and you got the balls to step up and go there in person, that's how you build trust at scale. I was looking at one this morning, just before this. The CEO of NVIDIA. What does these guys do when they launch a product? They get on
camera.
Stage. Yeah. Now, when I say stage, it's podcasts, videos, YouTubes, speaking one to many.
Yeah.
So the biggest AI companies, the way they promote their product is by getting on stage. Speaking is the most important skill, the most in-demand skill, the highest paid skill. And frankly, one of the only few unfair advantage left in business today when AI does everything else for us. And Kurt, we used to have to decipher while watching the news what's disinformation, what's true and not.
Right.
This has been doing this for forever. But now we not only have to decipher what's true and not, but what's real and not. So this is not true, not real. This is true and real. This is not true, but not real. We have a matrix now.
Right.
So you live as a business owner, speaking on stage in a room, people are losing that. And when you got the balls to do it, you win by default because the other guys just gave up.
Yeah. I love that thinking. I was thinking about as I was asking the question about relationship capital, right? You can't replace you can't put AI in place of relationships, right? The face-to-face, the personal connection we make. I can write a good email with AI, but that relationship capital, which is what you're talking about, it's that one-to-many relationship capital you're talking about, which can't be replaced by a machine.
I've been thinking about this. It's the only thing left. Like literally, I mean, I'm an okay writer. I write copy for people. I had an event last week. I built all the marketing and the machines. We had over 1,800 people at an event. I write the emails, the offer, the copy, the ads. I'm okay at this. AI eats me for breakfast when it comes to writing. It's not even funny. It's good God. But speaking, it will never be, say I have something I want to say to the world. I have a message. Plus, also, here's the thing. When AI writes your stuff, you don't know what you're talking about. You're performing a memorization act. I wrote all this. I wrote this myself before AI, all my tools. Thank God. Because otherwise, I'd have to memorize it.
Right.
Yeah. So when it comes from lived experience, people cannot read something in a LinkedIn listicle and then go and teach that with a straight face. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You lack the depth and the nuance and all that. So, but yeah.
Powerful.
Having what it takes at the gut level to handle the message streaming to come out of your chest with a straight face is where it's at.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good moment to get into our lightning round. So here we go. 3 questions, 90 seconds each. The first one, we start with the toughest one. Hopefully decades and decades from now, you're lying in your bed, perhaps at your final hours, you're looking back on your life. How will you know that you had a life well lived?
It's the same wish I have the only wish I can have for anyone is to die in peace. Mm-hmm. And for me to die in peace is to not die with my music still in me. When I say music, it's all I have in me.
I love it. Now, completely different. 90 seconds on any topic that's been interesting you lately. It just has to be off topic. Maybe something you've gone down the rabbit hole on lately, a hobby, spiritual insight, good book, sports team you're a big fan of. What's got you down the rabbit hole?
Oh my God. It's the spiritual stuff, man. I plan on teaching this in my 70s. I'm whatever, 47, 48 now. I'm born in 78. So in my 70s, I'll be teaching the spiritual stuff. On Wednesdays, I teach marketing. On Tuesdays, I teach speaking per se. And on Mondays, I teach mindset mastery. So it's already part of the system because mindset is that's the messenger itself. So there's the message and the offer and all that. But man, when people realize what is consciousness, not what you're conscious of, but what is consciousness itself, the whole debate about AI and the personhood and all that type of stuff is just blown out of the water. Consciousness, the study of consciousness itself, and the whole debate about consciousness. It's called now the hard problem of consciousness by neuroscientists, which they can't find it in the brain because it's not there. The brain is hardware, motherboard. The brain's a hardware.
Right.
Okay? So the mind is the software. It runs on the hardware, so you can't see it. And then the subconscious mind is like the operating system, which sets the guardrails for the software. But what is consciousness? How intelligent is a computer when the power's turned off? Consciousness is the electricity that powers the whole thing. And in tech, I go for I want the newest tech and the oldest wisdom, not the other way around. I don't want the newest wisdom and the oldest tech, right? Who wants a VCR, right? Okay, so you want the newest tech and the oldest wisdom. And the oldest book I've found on the subject is Mind Melting. It's a collection of the wisdom of the ancients from 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. So 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, the ancients It's the Upanishads. It's a book about the nature of consciousness and the self itself. From 3,000 to 5,000 years ago, but it talks about the wisdom of the ancients from that time, so God knows how long before that.
Right.
Mind-melting stuff about the nature of consciousness itself, a thing of beauty.
Yeah, powerful. I'll have to grab that book. We'll put it in our show notes.
If somebody reads that, contact me before. There's warnings that comes with this. You just can't go cold turkey. So please, if you're going to read this, call me before.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we'll get your contact information
there's
there
warnings.
too.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd love to end. Let's pretend somebody somehow magically fast forwarded to this moment in the podcast. Make your best 90 seconds. Who are you? What do you do? Who should find you? And what problems do you solve for them?
So, bonjour, je m'appelle Sylvain Haché. Nobody can say that, so I go by Sly in English. I'm the founder of Rockstar Presence Secrets. We basically do speaker training and marketing consulting. So we help business owners become great speakers so that they can have 6-figure days, build a whole marketing system around this. Think about where you live, where you are in time, and just look around at what's going on in the world today. And if you think that doing things the way you've always been doing them, without changing, without multiplying the scale at the number of which you speak to, is going to serve you well, I cannot help you beyond this. There is an inflection point in time, which is the exact moment where you open your mouth on stage or on camera or in meetings. Everything you do before this is preparation. Everything after this is execution. We help you win at that specific moment in time to multiply your income, impact, and influence. And we do this through speaker training and marketing consulting. And if you want to know more about this, you can go to nextlevelpublicspeaking.com and just speak with us about nailing it next time you get on stage.
Nice. Well, this has been awesome. I know I have a good episode when I look down to check how long we've gone, and I'm already over my goal time. And so this, you've kept me fascinated, and I took 2 full pages of notes, folks. So this has been a great episode, Sly. Thank you so much for giving us your time today.
I appreciate this. I love this. I was looking forward to meeting Kristen. I clicked with you. I remember the first time I met you, it took like 6 seconds. I loved you, like the vibe and all that. I heard freedom. I heard sovereignty. And I heard these type of stuff. And I looked at you and I knew there was Jesus in the mix somewhere. I was like, I'm in. Count me in immediately. That's how I got in. Yeah.
I love it. Well, you'll get to meet Kristen hopefully very soon. She's special. And thank you, everyone who has taken the time to listen to us today. We know that your time is valuable. If you loved what you heard today, do click like and subscribe so more people can find us and you can find us the next time. And if anyone is interested in learning a little bit more about what Kristen and I are up to, check us out at www.libertyspenders.com. If you want to learn even more, you can get our book for free at libertyspenders.com/free. Again, thanks everyone, and until next time.